help me holding on, 'cause I still feel your hello, hello. I know that I'm living with ghosts.
The Great American Bash.
Instead of showing wrestlers to hype up the revival of the Great American Bash, we are going to show children, which almost gives this a horror vibe if I'm being perfectly honest, the way they recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Nothing says God bless America more than burying your father in concrete. Torrie Wilson is placed on the poster of this event just so she can welcome the fans to the show and have a match with Sable later on. But honestly, since she's out here now, we might as well kick off the show with her match. In case you forgot that this event took place in Norfolk, Virginia, as we saw literally 30 seconds ago, here's your first reminder of 50. You just already know that Paul Bearer is getting buried alive in the concrete, otherwise why else would WWE go through the trouble of building the set, bringing the truck in, and preparing to dump the concrete? John Cena wearing the United States Championship in a lopsided position just feels wrong to look at for some reason. Maybe I'm too used to champions wearing it in the normal position. Wrestlers bring in dogs into the arena, which scares and stresses the hell out of them. Look at this poor thing with its tail tucked between its legs, trying to find a way out of here. What's weirder than one wrestler turning his back on an opponent in the corner? Two wrestlers turning their backs on opponents in each corner.
And Booker T sort of cheering on Rene Dupree.
Booker T is simply looking on at the action while adjusting his gloves. He is not rooting for Rene Dupree by any means.
Remember, this is a fatal four-way elimination.
Honestly, I find it funny that John Cena saw Booker T staying away from the action, knowing it's an elimination match, and decided to join him on it too. It's smart strategy in this type of environment.
United States title, John Cena.
If I were Rob Van Dam, I would have tossed Rene Dupree back into the ring instead of John Cena because of how much punishment I gave him, while John was watching with a bucket of popcorn outside the ring placing bets with Booker T. The fact that two competitors stay outside the ring while the other two fight inside the ring made this fatal four-way match so entertaining. Taking turns in the ring like a comedic version of a tag team match.
Can Rob Van Dam take advantage?
I mean, he could if he wasn't rolling everywhere in the ring that wasn't where Booker T is lying.
And he does.
Rob Van Dam's shoulder clearly leaves the canvas multiple times throughout this pin, yet the referee ignores it. What an asshole screwing RVD out of the United States Championship.
Rene Dupree trying to take advantage.
Breaking up a pinfall during an elimination match is the dumbest shit a wrestler could ever do because allowing an opponent to be eliminated lets you get one step closer to winning the championship. Booker T is an idiot.
Cover on Rene Dupree, hooks the leg, shoulders.
If only Booker T put his legs over John Cena while he pinned Rene Dupree, he would have successfully pinned both men and won the championship. Oh well. Just like Rob Van Dam earlier, Booker T's shoulder is completely off the canvas and the referee ignored it. John Cena obviously paid the referee to cheat on his behalf.
And I promised Luther Reigns a match tonight.
In other words, an impromptu match, and impromptu matches on a pay-per-view are always a sin.
I have a match against Torrie Wilson.
So what are you doing in a hot tub with the intent on conducting interviews with the WWE superstars if you have a match tonight? Charlie Haas is the one competing in this impromptu match with Luther Reigns, yet the cameras are focusing on Jackie Gaeta as if she is the one competing against Luther tonight. Then again, this match was literally just made on the spot, so I wouldn't be surprised if the participants were suddenly changed on the spot as well.
Live in the United Kingdom tonight.
Oh great, Michael Cole's about to list the number of countries that are watching the Great American Bash tonight because this match is boring and we have nothing else to talk about.
Hey, there it is.
Jackie Gaeta tried to get the audience to clap along so that Charlie Haas could get out of the submission hold, and when that didn't work, let's just try again.
That is a deadlift of a man who weighs about 230 pounds.
After all the crazy feats of strength we've seen over the years, how is Michael Cole amazed that an athlete the size of Luther Reigns deadlifting Charlie Haas, who is much smaller?
Out of the way. Nice suplex by
Michael Cole was amazed at Luther Reigns lifting up Charlie Haas for a gorilla press slam, but doesn't give a shit when Charlie lifts up Luther for a belly-to-belly suplex throw. I bet he said, when Hulk Hogan slammed Andre the Giant due to Hulk being the smaller competitor the way his logic is going here.
Mayfield delivered victory over Eddie Guerrero.
Sure, a win is a win, but that was a disqualification. Doesn't mean shit when it comes to winning championships, mate.
And you don't like what you see, so you turn your anger on me.
Twitter. I'm normally a fan of Rey Mysterio being launched from the stage, but it feels weird when they have to bring in a mini stage to use due to the actual stage having a walkway of concrete.
I don't want to talk. Ray's got a mask on. How could he talk?
Oh, I don't know, maybe from his mouth in the open area? Taz knows that Rey Mysterio wears a mask, yet somehow doesn't realize how it's designed? That Michael Cole fears puberty sign makes absolutely no sense. He neither looks nor sounds like he never went through it, unless the dude with the sign knows things about him, wink wink.
shoulders down.
Actually, only one shoulder was down, and the referee could clearly see that. Chavo Guerrero was almost on his entire side during this. Are all referees being paid off by the champions tonight? Knowing the WWE champion Eddie Guerrero, most likely.
What a kick right there.
Haha, your voice cracked! And yes, I didn't say it with my voice crack mimic because I unfortunately cannot do that anymore ever since my vocal cords were damaged.
Oh, but I think Mysterio might have a brace on that knee.
You can't quite tell? We've seen close-up shots of the brace on Rey Mysterio's knee throughout the past 5 minutes when Chavo Guerrero was targeting it. Why else would he be targeting it throughout?
Tight rolled up. Whoa!
What?
Look at that.
Indeed, that is impressive. Chavo Guerrero proving he's just as much a threat as his Uncle Eddie is. If there's anything I always enjoy looking back on, it's these Cruiserweight title matches between Chavo and Rey.
Yo, great counter into a DDT.
Michael Cole has seen that move executed many times, yet he somehow thought Rey connected a DDT instead of a bulldog. Okay, Chavo was doing fantastic in this Cruiserweight Championship match, but then he decides to start taunting and underestimating Rey Mysterio. Well, it was fun while it lasted.
Chavo Guerrero that just
Rey Mysterio had trouble walking on the ring canvas, but the moment he literally jumps off the top rope to the ground outside, no problem walking whatsoever.
off the second rope. There's into a lateral press.
So, what happened to Rey's injured leg that was targeted for 15 straight minutes? He couldn't walk, but all of a sudden he can spring off the ropes and get back up like nothing happened? Whoever that guy is in the yellow shirt sitting on the stairs, go back to your seat. And if you couldn't get a seat next to your friends or loved ones, that's your own stupid fault.
We are going to crown a new Cruiserweight champion.
Well, because you said that out loud, it's safe to say that we are not going to crown a new Cruiserweight champion right now. The referee screws Chavo Guerrero out of the Cruiserweight title by giving him a fast count when Rey Mysterio connected the sunset flip. That's another referee paid by the champion tonight.
And he does not like America.
Because all non-American wrestlers have to sadly go through the "to hell with America" gimmick just to get patriotic chants from the crowd.
Someone who is very all-American.
Guess that makes sense. Mr. Ass is very patriotic. Far as we're concerned, Billy Gunn is the real America's ass. Captain America can suck it.
His mission is vengeance.
If his mission is vengeance, then he should wait until the next pay-per-view where the setting would be much more appropriate.
Does connect, legs are hooked.
And this is why the referee should be on the other side where you could actually see the shoulders. It's because of his poor placement that he didn't notice Kenzo Suzuki's shoulder completely off the canvas. Don't tell me even the non-champions are paying off the referees here.
Brain, you know when that happens, Cole, it's kind of hard.
Well, dead crowd means this match was a bad idea. Except if we're in Lafayette or Corpus Christi, they're just dead for the sake of being dead.
Quick in there it is. Shoulders down.
Okay, that time, the referee could see that Kenzo's shoulder was up throughout the entire pinfall and he ignored it. What is it with referees getting paid off to bend the rules on a night of patriotism? Oh.
Kenzo ducked underneath.
Kenzo kicked Billy in the back of the leg, which would logically cause Billy's leg to kick forward and make him fall backward. But instead, Billy falls forward while his leg falls backward.
Something about this really bothers me.
Give it another 6 years, Edge will be bothered by Paul Bearer being strapped to a wheelchair as well. But at least he decides to have fun with him instead of killing him with cement.
I'm sure The Undertaker's gonna do the right thing.
Well done, Paul Heyman. You just spoiled that The Undertaker is going to bury Paul Bearer alive regardless of his win. I guess the referees aren't the only ones being paid off tonight.
Changing arm locks and stuff.
What is Sable doing?
My thoughts exactly. Perhaps the fumes of the hot tub interfered with Sable's brain and she thought her match with Torrie Wilson was some sort of dance competition. Around this time in WWE, it's not out of the ordinary.
Nick was jealous. Torrie's been the spokesperson for the Bash.
So this match exists because of Sable being jealous of Torrie Wilson being a spokesperson for the very pay-per-view they are fighting at? Or is it Torrie's jealousy that Sable got to hang out in the hot tub instead of her?
She's got her own style.
Torrie with a kick to the back of the leg.
That was clearly a kick to Sable's ass, but Michael Cole didn't want to sound like a pervert. You would only be a pervert if you were commenting on your personal feelings toward her sexy ass. Fuck!
And the Torrie chants beginning at the scope.
Where the hell do you hear Torrie chants? I don't hear shit. Norfolk is turning into one of the worst cities to host a wrestling pay-per-view. No wonder WWE never returns there for a pay-per-view again.
Schoolgirl hooks the tights.
Yep, Sable paid off this referee to give her a fast count and ignored Torrie's shoulders being off the canvas, should that ever be a concern. 4 out of 5 matches tonight have had referees being paid to cheat on someone's behalf. The Undertaker steps out of this tiny cramped hallway ready to head to the ring for his match with the Dudley Boys. A match that's not happening for another hour, unless he's on the other side of the scope and it's going to take him that long to reach the ring.
I'm gonna get even by protesting. It's very simple.
Oh yeah, sure, because protesting has always been the answer to solving problems in the WWE.
This brawl broke out backstage.
It probably broke out because WWE needed an excuse to put another match to bore the hell out of the already dead Norfolk crowd.
This will not be pretty.
Oh good, I was so worried about the possibility of Mordecai and Hardcore Holly choosing to look pretty and perform a pageant on the spot instead of brawling in the ring.
The United Kingdom tonight.
Michael, you already told us the list of countries watching the show tonight. We don't need to hear it a second time.
Wastes himself in the middle of the night to take in that protein.
And I'm supposed to care about his diet during a wrestling match because why?
Could be in trouble tonight, Cole. I'm telling you that.
Well done, WWE. You managed to wake up the crowd in Norfolk, Virginia. Unfortunately, they're booing because this match absolutely sucks and is putting them back to sleep. Here are 10 sins because this happens a lot tonight.
Hung up by the top rope.
Rolling banged heads.
I don't think they banged heads. Hardcore Holly was trying to connect a neck breaker and missed Mordecai entirely, so both men fell down in another moment of awkwardness.
This summer,
Back in the days where WWE put on the most hilarious and appropriate commercials for their SummerSlam events. In this case, it's WWE's version of the Summer Olympics. These days, we just have Cardi B repeating how SummerSlam is 2 nights and the worst SummerSlam commercial I've ever seen. In the meantime, one sin off for this great promotion.
No time limits.
Practically every match here has no time limits. When was the last time WWE even had a time limit match?
Removes himself from the bull rope, automatically disqualified.
So that basically means Eddie Guerrero could fuck around with JBL and remove his hand from the bull rope just to piss him off and retain the WWE Championship as a result of a disqualification. Since the champion's advantage still technically exists here, nobody said anything about what happens should the champion get disqualified. To the lady with the Annie Loves Cena sign, I presume you are the Annie in question, this is the wrong match to hold the sign up. Where were you when John Cena competed for the United States Championship earlier tonight? It's legal, but attempted strangulation is always a sin, mostly because of the legitimate risks.
The rope came loose, but Eddie will not be disqualified.
But I thought the rule stated by Tony Chimmel was, for any reason, intentional or otherwise, the rope comes off, that participant is disqualified. Now we're changing the rules mid-match?
Yeah, like we were saying on
Well, that was awkward.
The second green light on.
Not anymore, because Eddie Guerrero attacked JBL while the latter was tapping corners, so that means we have to restart, unless we're randomly changing that rule mid-match too.
red light
Red
goes
shows
on.
lights him.
Guaranteed JBL was originally going to be the red color due to being the bad guy, but insisted that he be the green color due to reasons that would definitely get him cancelled in the present day. We interrupt the Great American Bash to bring you a parent trying to bring their resisting child to the dentist, minus the rope of course.
Eddie counter.
Some would say that Eddie Guerrero tripped JBL onto the announce table, but since Eddie didn't do a thing here, I'd say JBL saw Eddie slip away from his grasp and threw himself back on purpose to begin a temper tantrum.
Eddie Guerrero steel chair.
JBL begs for the match to be called off. If he's so scared to take more beatdowns from Eddie Guerrero, why doesn't he just take off the rope attached to his wrist, since the ring announcer made a big deal about getting disqualified if you take it off?
And there we go. A green light is on.
Since JBL tapped the corner twice, shouldn't that turn off the light, like how you press a button twice? A low blow like that would not cause JBL to flip forward on his own accord without Eddie Guerrero adding any leverage.
Guerrero, 2 corners.
I don't care what type of match this is, JBL just took Eddie Guerrero's frog splash finish and move and he is getting back up not even 10 seconds later. And you want me to believe a frog splash can win Eddie matches in the future after seeing that? Haha, the table didn't break. Consolation table destruction.
Anything can touch the top turnbuckle via hands, your arms, your knees.
Taz says this conveniently before Kurt Angle makes the big revelation just in case anyone tries to claim JBL's victory was bullshit.
The bottom rope.
How frustrating.
Considering the light in the top left corner of the ring is flickering, does that mean JBL touched the corner but not really? I know we're trying to make this a big dramatic moment, but because of how far JBL can reach, his arm can obviously reach the corner no matter how much Eddie Guerrero is resisting. I'm surprised JBL didn't suddenly do a backflip after the second low blow.
The final corner. Bradshaw touched his.
JBL touched the top left corner, which caused the green light on the bottom left corner to turn on. He's using mind powers to touch the corners now. I think the real reason why JBL is given the victory by Kurt Angle is because one of his green lights went out entirely, thus making it impossible for him to win the match regardless if he touches the 4 corners.
Eddie's pulling here.
This is the big reason why JBL's win is bullshit. Eddie whacked him with a cowbell, which stopped his momentum, and per the rules of this, JBL's side of things must immediately start over. Yet he's still allowed to continue? I'm throwing in 15 cents for this confusing match. WWE is not even trying to hide that this video was filmed prior to anyone entering the building, as you can see empty seats in the background that have been shown to be filled in wide shots at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Also, since they have a stunt person portraying Paul Bearer here, couldn't they have gotten someone who was the same size as him? Because you can clearly see the size difference in the legs between the stuntman and the real Paul Bearer on the edited video. WWE conveniently doesn't show Paul Bearer in the cage while Paul Heyman watches him. Reason number 3 that they're not even trying to hide the obvious fact.
Lansing and his confidant.
Paul Heyman is somehow allowed to do this despite the match agreement.
Lay down!
Bubba Ray Dudley is stupid enough to think the freaking Undertaker is going to accept these terms.
In mind,
Paul Heyman has been threatening to pour the cement onto Paul Bearer all match long if the Undertaker didn't do what he and the Dudley Boys demanded. But when the Undertaker is in control of Devon Dudley at this moment, Paul does nothing, not even a distraction on the microphone. Paul Heyman is addicted to Devon Dudley by letting him take a beatdown from the Undertaker for nearly 3 minutes before he finally does something to save him.
here Paul Bearer pleading.
Paul Bearer is not pleading, he is clearly bragging that the Undertaker will save him. What edited video are you watching, Michael Cole? Honestly, why is the Undertaker not running toward Paul Heyman? Given how slow the concrete fills the crypt and how the Dudley Boys are both down and out, Undertaker would have enough time to run after Paul, attack him, and stop the concrete from drowning Paul Bearer. Yeah, I know of the plot twist, but he should at least make it look like he wants to help his father.
Paul Bearer's got to be shocked, scared.
Considering all we've seen is Paul Bearer bragging and yelling in triumph at Paul Heyman while being buried by concrete, I don't see how he could be shocked or scared. The weird way Bubba Ray Dudley jumped in the air when the Undertaker executed Old School. You mean to tell me that the Undertaker could have just zapped Paul Heyman into oblivion the entire time? Why didn't he just do that in the first place?
Undertaker, what are you doing?
The Undertaker will still be shocked when Paul Bearer betrays him in any future conflict after what he did here.